right, so we'll welcome you to an Alexander lesson, and I'll tell you a bit about what's going to happen. The main thing that's going to happen is I'm going to use my hands and guide you. And I will guide you in a particular way that may feel a bit weird or different to what normally happens. And you'll be doing simple activities like sitting, standing, maybe walking, maybe going onto your toes, simple everyday activities. And the difference will be under the guidance of my hands. If anything feels difficult, painful, unpleasant, let me know, which is a good time to ask you if you have any injuries or musculoskeletal things going on that are bothersome.
Yeah, a variety of little sort of things.
Niggles.
Over the years, yeah.
Anything, neck, shoulders, tension patterns that you recognize about yourself? Discomfort that you wake up with in the morning?
Not much to do with my shoulders, no. Mostly to do with the legs.
Yes, tell me about the legs.
The medial collateral ligament a few years ago.
You have an operation?
No, they did it just with ultrasound, but
Yes.
It's never healed 100%.
Yes.
And also I worry about the tendon here, because I think when I did that, I think I did some damage to this one, because I can never feel the tendon at the top of here like I can on this side.
Yes. A lack of sensation there.
I just can't feel the tendon, you know, you can feel it sort of pops up.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever seem to pop up on this side.
Yeah.
And then my left ankle is not quite restricted mobility, but it swells up. It's got poor lymph circulation as well as poor blood circulation.
All right, okay. And in terms of activity, do you keep quite active? Do you do sports at the moment?
No, not really. I walk. I play golf.
Okay.
I don't like running, and I do a bit of swimming.
Fine.
I can't stand the gym.
You want something more fun than repeated exercises?
Yeah, I need something that means I have to do it. Like, I give it a lift. I work at home, but I get my son to drop me off on the way to his work, and I then walk home. So that's me walking to work.
What about stress patterns? Do you find your mind or body get stressed at the end of a day or the end of a week? And how do you manage stress, and how does it manifest in your body? Anything?
Well, I was thinking about on the way here, actually, I play golf. And sometimes I play golf really well, and sometimes I play really badly. When I play badly, I do think,
yes.
Of course, the tighter and tighter I get, the worse I get. So the more I relax, the better I get.
Well, you've understood the whole Alexander technique in that case. It
took me 44 years to still be rubbish at golf. So.
But the principle is there, isn't it? That you know that the harder you try and the more tense you get, the worse your performance.
Yeah. I always like to focus on something, but whenever I focus on it, then I over-focus on it after
That's
a while,
right.
and it goes wrong.
Okay.
So actually emptying the mind is actually better than filling it.
Well, you certainly know a huge amount about the technique in that sentence. So emptying the mind and not overly focusing the mind is pretty important too.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully you'll see some overlaps between these truths that you've discovered.
I'm a convert.
Okay, that's the deal. You have to tell me if your handicap improves.
Unlikely, but yeah.
All right, good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start moving you around, and we'll use that chair, and you can stand up and you can look out of the window at the view. So stand up normally, and I'll just offer you very, very simple instructions, okay? And I might move your head, I might move an arm, I might move your whole body into a twist, I might do all sorts of things like that, but nothing, I won't do any osteopathic clicks, and I won't do anything, nothing forceful. In fact, the classic Alexander touch is pretty much no more than that, or that. It's pretty gentle. How often do you play golf?
1 to 3 times a week.
Okay, I'm going to move your head to the left, and I'm going to move your head over to the right. And in a way, I'm not really interested where it's going to go. I'm just moving it. And in the meantime, you're letting me do the moving. So you're sort of surrendering control of your head to my movement. And to do that most effectively, you don't have to close your eyes and go inside. The most effective way is actually to be interested in something going on out there, and not to be overly interested in what I'm doing with my hands. No, it's very interesting what you said about playing golf, that when you try too hard, you get more and more tight, and then the performance drops. And it's that trying too hard that is really, and I wasn't joking when I said it, is really the key or the cornerstone of the Alexander technique, that the overly trying mind and body is the problem, and the less trying, or you called it the emptying of the mind quality, is going to be a solution. So despite what you might have thought, you're not going to be learning particular good postures.
Right.
You'll be learning something that will include your mind, and the trying mind and the not trying mind. So right now, all I want from you right now is, I'm going to move your head here for a while, and now I'll move it here, is to get into a chair by taking your hips backwards and then bend your knees all the way to the stool. Yes? When you get to the stool, stop, and I'll move you backwards. And if anything feels weird, different, more painful, less painful, more comfortable, less comfortable, in terms of circulation or tightness, just let me know. And of course, also in the areas you told me about before, knees, hips, ankle. I'm going to move you forwards and stop.
That's decidedly less comfortable.
On which part?
Back.
All right, so the back feels less comfortable in this condition.
I actually don't like sitting on stools, but actually this position's pretty good.
This position is pretty good.
Yeah.
Meaning, what does that mean?
I don't mind sitting on the stool for a change.
But normally, if you're sitting on a stool, what would be the unpleasant thing?
I'd be looking for a table to lean on.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is unusual that you can be sitting like this without it being a big problem for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. What do you think the difference is as a matter of...
Sitting further back. Well, my shoulders are further back.
The shoulders are further back,
Yeah.
but I haven't asked you to pull them further back.
No,
So how come they've gone there?
I don't think put them there.
Seems like it. I think you're right. It seems like I've taken your shoulders back. But actually, your shoulders have pretty much gone back by themselves, which is something we'll hopefully explore today. That actually, under certain conditions, the body rights itself. And that's something that I'd like you to understand. And my job is to get you into the condition where you right yourself and the shoulders spontaneously recover and come back. And the back, you say you're sitting rather comfortably right now.
It feels as though I'm sitting straight up for a change.
Yes, but you're not pushing yourself straight up. So again, where is the straight up coming from? Or this poise?
It's more like a pile of bricks than a whole load of muscles going on.
That's right. It's more like a pile of bricks without the effort from the muscles trying to force yourself up. So again, I'll say to you that this is the natural condition that seems to be already happening, and it's not with you making a big effort to sit up straight, young man business, is it? It's none of that.
No, it's quite the reverse.
It's quite the reverse, yes. So I'll take you forwards, and that's quite pleasant, isn't it?
Not bad. I can feel my back though, the muscles in the back.
Yes, they're doing something different. That's for sure. And I'm going to take you forwards again. I'm going to take you further forwards, and now I'm going to take you a touch further forwards and wait there.
Ah, that hasn't hurt this time.
It hasn't hurt.
No, there's no tightness in the back there for some reason.
And is there normally tightness in the back?
Well, normally when I lean forward, yeah, it would tighten up. Yeah.
So normally when you lean forward, you'd feel tightness in the back or pain in the back.
Yeah.
And at that moment, you didn't.
No, I think I bent it. I think I pivoted in a different place.
And you pivot in a different place? Yes.
Lower. So
yes.
I pivoted lower rather than the...
That's right. So not very much was happening in the middle of the back. You weren't pivoting there. You were pivoting lower. You were pivoting on your hips. That's absolutely right. Yes. In other words, the whole back remained
pretty
much
like the pile of bricks. Yeah.
Like a pile of bricks.
Except it didn't fall over.
I'll take you forwards again. So the back is not getting involved, is it?
No, it's not.
Which is an interesting idea. Your back and neck are not getting involved as you're leaning forwards, and I would guess that's why you're not in pain.
Right, I'm not using the muscles.
Because you're not doing this to the muscles of the back, you're just moving or pivoting, as you put it, forwards, but without engaging the muscles of the neck and back, which would normally cause discomfort.
Not pain, that's the wrong phrase. Discomfort.
Discomfort, yes. Yeah, I get that. So I'll move you forwards again, and then stop. I'm moving you forwards again, and then stop there for a while, yes. And I'm saying with my hands, in a way to your neck and your back, that there's nothing you need to do there. The pivot is the pivot, but there's nothing I'm demanding from your neck and back. And now I'll say the same thing. There's still nothing you need to do in your neck and back. And I want you to just stand up with your heels. So you then got out of a chair.
Yep.
What was that like, standing?
Certainly a lot less stressful on my thighs.
A lot less stressful on your thighs. Something very, very efficient and light about it, wasn't there? And you know I didn't lift you. Or did you think I lifted you? No, good. Okay. That's fine. And now the same thing. I want you to take the hips backwards and bend the knees again. So when you get to the chair, you can stop all the way. And then stop there for a while, and then stand up again. That's it. And then bend the knees again. And then stand up again. And bend the knees again. And then heels again. That's it. And bend the knees again. And then heels again. And bend the knees again. And then heels again. That's it. Fine. What's the experience like getting in and out of a chair? 6 or 7.
Legs are getting tired now.
The legs are getting tired, yes. So your legs are being demanded.
Just a little bit on the front.
In your quads, yes. And what's happening with your neck and back area?
Nothing.
Nothing. Right, so that's a big statement. Nothing's happening in your neck and back.
Not conscious of anything.
No, and I can feel that too. So all of this area is staying rather quiet.
Yeah.
But your legs did what they have to do, get you in and out of a chair.
Yes, surprisingly effectively, actually, yeah.
Surprisingly effectively, yes. So it's not just a question of isolating it. Bend the knees.
You sure you're not killing me?
So no, sometimes they use a lot of electricity out of there with all sorts of things going on, and they fuse the lighting system. It'll come on again naturally.
Okay.
They'll just move the fuse. Nothing to do with us. It wasn't that explosive, was it?
Well, it was interesting.
Now, I'm going to move you forwards again. So what we were saying, we were just before the explosion, we're talking about how your legs were doing what they were doing, even though it was very, very efficient.
Yes.
You felt the legs doing what they were doing, the work of the legs, but nothing, as far as you were aware, was happening in your neck and back.
No.
How would you reckon most people operate with necks and backs when they're sitting and standing or playing golf and whatever?
Well, I don't know about most people. I certainly know all about it.
You know that
happening,
everything's happening normally in necks and backs when you do things, whether it's this or whether it's sitting and standing or just pivoting forwards from your hips. You know that you'd normally engage your neck and back in a very different way to what's happening right now. How are you managing to sit up again on this stool?
Don't know, fine.
Fine still.
Yeah.
Which again is unusual, isn't it? You're not looking to lean on something.
Very unusual.
It is unusual, isn't it?
For me.
And again, you're still not trying to sit up straight or do anything clever with your back.
No, I'm not doing anything.
You're not doing anything. So something is going on that's lifting your back by itself, rather than you saying, let's see if I can straighten the back or something like that.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. Let me move you forwards. That's perfect. Let me move you back again. Let me move you forwards, and then stop. Okay, wait there. And in a second, you're going to get up again in a minute, but with that usual difference, which is nothing else is going to happen apart from you standing up with your heels. Yeah. What else is there about that quality of movement that's a little different to what you'd normally find yourself doing when you get in and out of a stool on your own?
I don't know.
Just on a feeling level. Bend the knees again. Yeah, that's it. The same thing now. Stand up with your heels.
I'll probably swing my arms or something like that, just to sort of...
Yes, normally you'd be oomping yourself out of the chair to try to get some momentum.
Yeah.
And you didn't need it then?
No.
That's it. I think that's what you meant when you said it's less effortful to sit and stand like this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That you don't need that push and pull.
No, right. I'll never forget watching some lions in a safari park years ago. They always moved with this effortless quality. It was extraordinary.
Yeah. So you're like an effortless lion, graceful.
I don't know about that.
And bend the knees. But that's a great image, though, isn't it? The graceful, natural lion in its own habitat. Heels into the ground. Yes, bend the knees. And I think a lot of the Alexander technique is actually a recovery of a very natural quality of movement.
Right.
A graceful quality of movement that actually is part of what we're born with, but then we lose it. Right. Over time, it starts to deteriorate with the hurries and worries and pushes and pulls and stresses. We lose that natural grace, but I think very much what we're doing is a recovery of this natural biological grace and elegance. Little kids have it sometimes.
Well, yeah, tend to, yeah.
Apart from when they're having a temper tantrum. Now, hips back and bend the knees. That's it, all the way. Yeah. That's it. And you can see I'm moving your head again. You're not sitting up straight, but your back is supporting itself, as you put it, like nicely stacked up by itself. So if you were swinging your golf club in this condition, how do you reckon you'd be playing?
I don't know, I'd be missing the ball at the moment.
In terms of stress and strain and all that stuff you were showing me before, could you manage to keep this quality of freedom going and swing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of... It's not...
The attempt to hit the ball properly might start creating or recreating...
Well, there's a subtle difference of position.
Yes, certainly a different position, a different demand. You'd be,
Sort of.
And then stand up with the heels again. That's it.
Oh yeah, no, I actually went through the right position actually for fitting a golf club.
You did.
Halfway up.
That's right, halfway up. And
that was about the right position.
Yeah. And if you stayed there and keep all this freedom and swing...
Yeah, so it would certainly be a...
It'd be
probably go straight anyway.
You'd rather than slicing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hooking it. Yeah.
And then bend the knees. And then stand up with the heels. And now we're going to stop halfway. Hips back, bend the knees, stop. Yeah. What does that feel like?
Yeah, pretty close. That's two down for a golf swing.
Bit slow, bit low for you? Yeah. Fine. So you wouldn't go so far down. Bend the knees and stop there. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Pop your shoulders forward very slightly.
Yeah, fine. Don't change your shoulders. Yeah. And what about the quality of that halfway house position?
Too much tension in the thighs at the moment.
Good. I want there to be. Bend the knees. A bit more tension than you used to in the thighs. Yeah. Bend the knees in order to get much more mobility. Go all the way to the stool. To get more mobility and all that freedom in the neck and head and back.
Right.
So I'd want this to work more than what you'd normally do, which is that one.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes?
Avoid that.
You need to avoid that, and when everything else remains very quiet and calm in your mind and body, it will demand more here than you used to, and you'll get used to that. But at least it'll leave everything up here in a condition where you can mobilize yourself much more freely and play at a much higher level. Yeah. So you can see we're having quite different conversations about your hip upwards and your hips downwards.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah. No, I don't quite know what you mean by that, actually.
Well, so from here downwards is your legs, your quads, and hips upwards, like I'm not doing anything in my neck and back, it's just stacking itself up and remaining very free.
Yeah.
Let me move you further forwards and then stop. Yeah. See, how's the pivot going?
Yeah,
still reasonably
cool.
easy, yes?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, yeah. Actually, just thinking about it, of course, I do have restriction in the hips, but I'm not feeling it at all.
Normally you'd feel restrictions in your hips.
On a bad day.
Really?
Well, a damp day, perhaps. Yeah.
Yes, like now.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, we're not outside, actually, which is worse.
Yeah. And then take you back again and stop. Good. I'm going to take you forwards again. But at the moment, I guess you're not sensing any restriction in your hips.
No, not at all, no.
Good. And then let me take you further forwards and then wait there for a while. And again, stand up with your heels. And then walk around to the window and back again, back to the stool. Yep. And then come back again. Good. What's the walking feeling like? I know it'll be a bit bizarre to walk like this in this strange room.
Just sort of purposeless.
Purposeless. Yeah, there's a great word. Purposeless. Yeah, can we flesh that out a bit? Put your feet wider apart. Mm-hmm. So when you walk with purpose, what would be different?
Much more sense of striding.
Striding and
rigidity
and effort and muscle doings, and the neck and head and back area, this whole region would be doing more, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And purposeless, that quality of purpose.
Drifting across the floor.
Drifting, floating across the floor without the effort.
Yeah.
I think it's a great word, purposeless, without that demanding, effortful purpose. A bit like when you're swinging. If you're knocking up in just playing for fun in golf, would you say you're better than playing for a real point? Or would sometimes playing for a point throw you off into more effort? And having fun, just swinging might be a bit more free and easy. Hips back and bend the knees.
I think it's more a sensation for tennis rather than golf. But
yeah, tennis I think is very, very relevant. Yeah. Yeah. Often people tell me that they're much better at knocking up in tennis.
Yeah.
And if they play for a point,
that's right.
then that thing that you showed me before, when you get all like this, people freeze at match point, or can do.
Yeah. Well, sure.
And when they're knocking up, they don't care. They're a bit purposeless.
Yeah.
And when they're purposeless, they have much more of that swing and flow. So you're hinting at something very important. You're hinting at the ability to have a purposeless mind and engage in the highest level of performance, but to maintain this purposeless mind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's it. So you can see it's not just all about bodies. So in Alexander technique, there's something called psychophysical unity or mind-body unity, that actually what the mind is doing, how it's engaged with purpose and stress and strain, or purposeless with ease, affects how the body postures and the muscles. You understand all that, I'm sure.
That makes huge sense to me, yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
Why does it make so much sense to you? From golf or just from life?
I don't know, it's just because I see the mind as being an extension of the body, not the centre of it.
Yes, that's right, yeah. So certainly a very vital connection.
Nothing, it's as useful as my leg.
It's what?
It's as useful as my legs.
It's as useful as your legs, yes.
But it's not my centre, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah. Now move you forward again, that's it, and then stop. I'm going to move you back again. I'm going to move you forwards. So what condition is the mind in, this quality of mind that you're in right now? And heels down again, stand up, and then bend the knees again. What condition is your mind in that right now compared to when you walk through the door? Stand up with the heels.
No, it's non-directive.
Non-directive, which means, you have to flesh that word out again. I think it's an excellent word. I think I know what you mean by non-directive. It's not...
I'm just purely passive.
You're purely passive. You're just letting things happen.
Yeah.
But you're not going for it.
No, I've not.
You haven't got a big agenda.
No agenda, purpose, objective, nothing.
Right, right.
Well,
Not dominated by a goal.
No, that's right.
And then bend the knees. What's it like having a brain that's non-agendered without a dominant goal?
Well,
Do you think that
occasionally, and it's lovely.
happens occasionally and it's lovely? And
Yeah.
what do you think it's doing at the same time, simultaneously with the body postures, the mechanisms of the body structure? What can you feel?
Never really ever been a thought before. So.
No. So here you are having an experience of a non-agendered mind without a dominant, effortful goal, and you're experiencing the body, how it's responding to the mind that's not overly purposeful. And what's your experience of the body when it hasn't got a dominant, goal-oriented agenda?
Seems to have more stamina.
More stamina, certainly. You wouldn't normally be able to get out of a chair 30 times on the trot without going off.
No, I'll be lying down.
You'd be lying down. Right, but you're still smiling and you've got in and out of a chair probably about 40 or 50 times.
Yeah.
Without sweating.
No. Well, I'm pretty warm actually. I've got 6 jumpers on. But, yeah.
Okay. And bend the knees again. That's it. I'm going to move you. Move you here, that's fine. Any questions popping in?
No, not at the moment, no. Oh yeah, I have got one.
Go on.
You move my head that way far more often than you move it that way.
I do. It's mechanically easier for me.
Oh, okay.
Let's go there for a while. Yeah, there's no method in that madness. It's easier for me to do this with my left hand.
Oh, okay.
But basically, they're both co-equal. There's no difference, really. I want your head to be able to move nicely on its socket,
Right.
on its pivot, and its axis.
Right.
Doesn't matter whether it's here or here, and it can rotate too. And when you're in this non-purposeful mindset...
my neck never does that smoothly.
You mean like that it did just now?
Yeah, no, it always creaks.
And just now?
Hasn't creaked.
Oh, goodness.
It's a bit of an issue.
Okay.
Good one.
So, that's interesting, isn't it? Why isn't it creaking?
I don't know, it's probably sprayed WD-40. Spiritually, or whatever.
Spiritual WD-40, that's the first time I've been accused of spraying spiritual WD-40. I like it. So yes, but the truth is I haven't done it, but something's changed.
Yeah.
And if you go back to your understanding of the mind and body, I would say that you know what's changed in you right now that feels like spiritual WD-40, and why your neck isn't creaking when you're having this rotation that it normally would always creak. What do you think the difference might be?
Well, it's my, I don't know, like my brain stem or something.
Yes.
Doing the work rather than my mind.
That's right. Your brainstem, the old mind, is doing it rather than your
More conscious mind.
Your conscious mind, the cortex, making a big effort. That's right. I think that's exactly right. And the cortex and the adrenal patterns and the stress patterns, what you call the newer mind, is getting out of the way. And your old mind, the brainstem mind, the biological mind, is having a chance to work.
Yeah.
Again, a perfect description of the Alexander technique. The old mind, the instinctive mind, or the instinctive mind and body, is operating without this effortful, purposeful mind of a goal-oriented, effortful behavior, which affects the neck. So if you look at me and I go, what's going on here? I'm using my cortex, I'm trying hard to understand something. And if I did this, my neck creaks. But if I'm like this, like you are now, then nothing's happening, and you're still having an intelligent conversation. It's not like you don't have a cortex.
Oh, yeah. No,
you're still able to engage with me, but without the stress pattern, the adrenal pattern, the cortisol pattern of the stress hormones flying around the system, which at the same time tighten necks.
Oh, okay.
So you didn't tell me about your tight neck, but everyone's got them, but no one thinks it's an issue until they experience what the neck's like without it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Because when I asked you what's going on, you didn't even mention your neck having cricks and, sound effects when you move it. That's fine. That's fine, good. And let me move your head here, and here, and here, and here, and here. That's it, that's the rotation. Let me move you a little bit further forwards, and then that's fine too. And let me take you a bit further forwards and stand up with the heels. Yes, and then walk to the window and back again. And then walk to the mirror and back again, quite quickly. Yep. What's your walking like? And walk back again. Yeah, yes. Exactly. So, when you walk a bit quicker, come back to the stool again. When you walk a bit quicker, you don't become overly careful at trying to keep something good.
No, that's right.
You're a bit more liberated. Sometimes if you walk and it's nice, you think, you get a bit too interested in why is it working better. But when you walk quickly, you haven't got a chance for the cortex to get over involved, and you leave yourself alone. So sometimes just getting on with it is much better than being overly careful.
Yeah.
Good. So let's take this into some table work. This Alexander includes table work, which is you lying down on here, and me doing a bit of movement work with you here. Okay. So you get yourself nicely onto the table, which is actually take your shoes off.
Right, okay.
And you'll be lying flat here, and your head will be on these books over here. So get yourself into the center, back on your back, and head here. That's it. That's fine. And then you roll yourself round, get yourself into the middle of the table, and then wait there for a second. And then gently let yourself come down here, and I'll look after the weight of your head. Fine. I think what we'll do with you, inch yourself down a couple of inches towards your feet. That's fine. Yes, and I've got the head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few more books under your head, and you keep your eyes open, drop your head. And what's going to happen, similar to the chair work, you've got the same request, which is I'm going to do the hard work of moving you, and you're going to do the allowing work, the purposeless work of letting me move you without over-engaging your brain with trying and fixing and pushing and pulling and so on. All right?
Interesting.
So what do you reckon you're learning here? This is a lesson, not a treatment.
When I lie down, I actually stress my back.
Yes. Is that what normally happens when you lie down?
I haven't really thought about it, but I can feel it right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to lift up a knee. So normally when people lie down, lots of things happen, especially around the stressed area of the lower back and neck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that what you normally feel?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me move you here. That's it. So everything I'm doing right now, I'm taking an arm, I'm still doing the moving. Yeah. I'm lifting up your head, and you're still letting me do the moving of your head. I'm taking the arm, the same thing here. I'm lifting up your arm, and you're leaving it alone. And keep your eyes open if you can. It'll stop you drifting off to sleep. Yeah. Is it always difficult for you to lie down without hurting your back? Like when you lie down in bed or when you lie down on the floor? Is it always quite painful for you?
I just don't say it's painful. I just, it's not, pain's the wrong word. But there are times, sometimes, if I'm very tired, then I have to do this with my legs.
You bend your knees upwards?
Yeah, because it actually helps me get the back contact.
Yes, so it'll help you, your lower back, your middle back,
Drops
lower
down,
back drops down closer to the surface of the floor. Yes,
And that helps me relax. Yeah.
Yes, I would say for you it would be always a good idea to have your knees bent, so the pelvis rotates, and so that your lower back gets a bit of a holiday.
Yeah.
I think it's always. I wouldn't say just do it sometimes. I'd say if you're doing this Alexander homework thing, lying down, always have your knees bent.
Oh, okay.
Always. Because this rotation, you can see that the back is getting flat, and you can see it's having an easier time than when you're...
It's resting now.
It's now resting, that's right. So this is a resting position, and it actually is included in Alexander homework.
Okay.
There isn't very much Alexander homework, but lying down is a good one. And it's a good one because you're not doing anything. You're letting gravity give you a lesson. This is gravity work. And the idea is that you want to be doing as little as possible. So the knees bent, the pelvis rotating, and the lower back resting, as it is right now, flat against the surface of the table, is much better. And the other difference, of course, is your head is on books.
Right.
So it's giving the neck a rest. Can you feel that? Your neck is in a supported condition. And if you didn't have any books there, can you imagine how your head would be? I don't even want to do it to you, but it would be straining itself and shortening this area.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be a very good thing.
Don't do it very often, so.
No. I'll lift up the head again. That's right. Yeah. How's that lower back doing at the moment?
Oh, it's pretty much quiet. It's gone to sleep.
Quiet, it's gone to sleep. Good, good. So it's having a real holiday. Good. And the hip is similar to the neck. That's also got a lot of mobility when things aren't held with too much purpose and stress and cortex. It's easier. It's just leaving itself alone to its biological reality. You can
I don't really think of my hip actually operating like a ball joint.
You don't think about your hip operating like a ball joint normally?
No, it's much more of a hinge.
Yeah.
But actually, obviously, it moves sideways quite a lot, but you don't think of it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. What else is happening in the back, do you feel at the moment?
Well, the shoulders have changed position.
The shoulders have changed. They have, quite dramatically. What do you sense has happened in the shoulders?
They've dropped to the table.
They've dropped. So they've gone along with gravity. They've gone down, haven't they? A bit like the lower back. They've also gone. They've participated in that letting go, haven't they? And they've got closer to... But you're not pushing them down or anything like that.
No.
They've gone down, like we say about everything else, they've gone down by themselves.
So this one has gone a lot further.
That's gone further. That had further to go, funnily enough. But yes, they've both gone down rather a long way. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions popping in?
Not yet.
No. How's the old brain doing?
The old brain?
Not the new brain. The brain that you said was the brain stem stuff. Let me take the shoulders in. That's it. So this would be your homework. Your head would be on this many paperback books.
Right.
Your knees would be up like this. Yeah. And you'd wait for gravity to give you a lesson, which it is already. You might wait for a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, without having to do anything at all. No rearranging, no pushing and pulling, no agenda, no purpose. But a mind that's doing very, very little.
Right.
As you can see, if I said to you, what's your mind overly engaged in right now? What's your answer if I say, what's your mind up to? Or what condition is your mind in right now, just lying down?
At the moment, it's actually wondering whether I can make my ball joints more less...
Oh, that's the content of your mind, yes. So you have a curiosity about whether you could make your ball joints in the hip
well, arthritic, but you know...
less arthritic. That's a good question.
It's the idea of being... Because I always move them in a single direction.
Yes.
Rather than rotating them.
Whether you could recover this ball and this ball socket joint. Well, the answer is definitely. If it's biologically available, then it's there waiting to come through. Yes.
That's good, because that makes the hip last longer.
It'll make the hip last longer, of course it will. I think Alexander can prevent unnecessary arthritic wear and tear.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I mean, I think Alexander's at its best in prevention. That to stop things overly wearing and tearing rather than waiting till things are very worn out and then thinking, oh, I better do some Alexander. I think Alexander at its best is a preventative technique.
Right.
Which is one of Alexander's passions, how to get it into the school system before kids became adults and got into habits of distortion that caused unnecessary trouble, wears and tears, injuries, aches and pains and so on, patterns of mind-body stress.
Yeah.
So there's the ball and socket.
Yeah, amazing.
You didn't think that was available?
Not at all.
Why not? Did someone tell you it's not available, or you just felt that inside yourself? I mean, is it something you're just not used to that?
Well, I'm just used to getting more and more pain.
Right.
And it's all
Yeah.
discomfort.
Yes.
And, got used to the idea of, okay.
Well, you're not. And that you could put down to just a habit pattern that actually is constraining of your ability, rather than a biological fact that you don't have that ability. It's much more about what you've conditioned yourself into experiencing, but actually you've got a lot more mobility than you've given yourself credit for. A bit like the head thing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You can see it in the neck area, can't you?
Totally.
I'm sure that feels a bit bizarre, having a head that does this ball and socket idea. I mean, it isn't a ball and socket joint, it's much, but it is rotational.
Yeah, it's like when you watch those Indian dancers that can make their heads go sideways.
That's right, that's right.
Drives me insane.
And you think, how the hell can they do it?
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
I wish I could.
Now you can.
Well, if you can teach me to do that, I'd be delighted.
What, for your karaoke?
No, I just wish I could do it.
Okay, I'm going to lift up this leg, don't help me. Yep. Right, I'll take the leg over here for a while, that'll do. Now, in a second, you're going to be rolling on your left-hand side, and I'll help you get off the table, but with a difference. And the difference is going to be, I'm going to take the weight of your head, and you're going to roll as one piece, here and here and here and here, this way, and then I'll swing you so you'll be sitting on the side of the table.
Okay.
But the difference is going to be that I'll support you here. And so you'll bring yourself around. You might even push up with this hand if you want to on the side of the bed. So you start to roll all of a piece, feet over, perfect, and then wait there for a while.
Okay.
That's fine. Good. Yep. What's it like just sitting there like this?
It's okay again. It was a bit of a tweak when it got rolled over there.
Yes, yeah.
On the right side.
It was quite quick, wasn't it? Now help yourself off the table. And then I want you to walk to the window and then back again. Yes, and then back here. And then round. And you can then bend your knees. And then that's it. Good. Right. I think that'll do you. So there you are, back in the chair. Now you have to give me a rough contrast between the way you are now compared to when you were sitting talking to me before, about 45 minutes ago. Just any contrast, just so it'll give me an indication of what your experience is. And if you don't have any answers, that's okay too.
It's gone in like two phases. The sort of the lower part in the first phase, and then now, of course, the top half is now feeling similarly relaxed in a different kind of way to the way it was before.
Yes, so it's all...
It was kind of hanging before, whereas now it's perhaps more relaxed, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, but not collapsed relaxed, relaxed upwards. You're still very much poised, but you feel more relaxed in the upper part of your body.
I'm much more ready to move.
Yeah, I could see that.
I haven't sort of slumped into some...
You haven't slumped into a compression, no you haven't. That's true.
So it's sort of all ready to go.
Yeah, yes. Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the best way of describing the difference.
Ready to move. It's a nice description. Yes, not frozen and limited.
No, I haven't sort of slumped into some awful position.
You haven't at all, no. But it's not you that's forcing yourself to be upright either. So you'd have to say it's
Not
coming.
my mind, certainly not my mind. My
Certainly
mind's
not your
doing
mind.
nothing.
Your mind is doing nothing. That's the best description as well. Your mind is doing nothing, but you're still upright.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mind isn't doing something called sit up straight.
No, that's right.
Good. All right then. I think we will leave you. Well, I won't leave you there. But
Don't lock the door.
we'll leave the session there. And
Well, thank you very much.
thank you very much for offering yourself to us and the school.
No, okay.
Yeah.
It's been, I've gained more than you have, so. Thank you very
I
much
don't
indeed.
know. All the best to you.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Oh, that's nice. I can put my shoes on without it hurting.
Really?